Hey, I'm Rox, and making life decisions is pretty hard sometimes. I've made quite a number of hard decisions in my life. I decided to start a company in the middle of college. I decided almost to leave college and take a full time job my second year. I decided to completely change careers from software into marketing. And I even decided to leave college and move to Chicago to work on my startup for 3 years, which I then, after 3 years, decided to leave. And through making all of these decisions, I've come into sort of a format or approach that I use. Because I know when I talk to a lot of people, they say that it's almost this impossible, daunting task to make some of these decisions. And when they hear that I've made them, they think to themselves, I could never do that. But anybody can. And I found that when I tell people this sort of framework that I use, it often helps make these decisions much more black and white, as opposed to these overarching, impossible feeling feats. So I'm going to share that with you guys today. So I use what I call the two-list format. And against popular belief, those two lists are not pros and cons, as you might imagine. When making a life decision, I try and focus on two very important things. The first list that I make at that moment in my life is everything that makes me happy. I write down every single thing. My list is about 3 pages long, and it has everything that I'm willing to admit that makes me happy, and everything that I'm not so happy to admit. From enjoying being the center of attention, to enjoying being kind of loud, having privacy, making a decent amount of money, but also getting awards if I can. Being in leadership positions feels really good. But I also really like music. I like being able to sing. I like entertaining. I like to feel like I'm on an adventure. And these might not be things that you would think anyone would care to bring up during this decision-making process, but I find that they're also important because when you combine them with the second list, it makes such a difference. And now the second list that I always write is every potential future I could walk into. So when I was making the decision to leave my company, I wrote, okay, I can continue with the company. I can continue with the company and I can keep living in Chicago. Or I can leave the company. If I leave, I can go into a new full-time job. I could start my own company and I could live in multiple places. I could live with my brothers. I could live with my parents. I could go move out to any random city. Or I could move to Asia with a bunch of nomad friends that I had just met. And the power of those two lists, the things that make you happy, and every possible future, is it becomes really easy to see where you might want to go. Because all you have to ask yourself is, very simply, what's going to make you the happiest? What's going to check the most boxes? And it might not be one simple answer. For me, it wasn't just that I had to decide to leave my startup. I had to decide where I was going to live, what I was going to do afterwards. And because I wrote this list out, because I knew everything from that I wanted to be the center of attention, to I wanted to feel like I'm on an adventure, to I wanted to be able to sing in the shower if I felt like it, I realized that for me, starting a solo company and moving to fucking Asia was astoundingly the right decision. And as ridiculous as it seemed the first time I said it, as a guy who's left the country once for 10 days, it was just correct. It was just that simple. And it was laid out in black and white in front of me. And I shared this with a friend, and she had been struggling with whether or not to move out. She was losing her apartment. She didn't know if she wanted to live with her family, live with, other people. There's so many directions she could have gone in. I gave her this format. She came back from it, and within 2 days was able to make the decision. Because it really takes all the questioning and all the back and forth out of it, and just shows you very directly the obvious answer of choosing your own happiness and what that path is. And ideally, that's about as correct as one can be. So, end of the day, the simple system is write 2 lists for yourself. One list in as much detail as possible of everything that makes you happy. Write one more list of every potential future you could possibly have. Every place you could work, every place you could live, every relationship you could be in, married, single, whatever. Even if you have a dog or a cat. Every little detail. And then start drawing lines and figure out which combination of those things in your future is going to result in checking the most boxes. It's going to give you the most happiness. And that's the easiest way I've found to make life decisions. If this works for you, let me know. If you have any questions or thoughts or anything, if you tried it and it worked, if you tried it and it didn't, let me know. I'm always interested to hear how these things go, but people ask me how the hell I decided to get out here and move to Asia, and that's how I did it. So I'd be super happy to hear anyone else's experience. If you want to come back for more stuff like this, or just random startup crap, or marketing, or anything like that, welcome to subscribe here, or come follow me on Twitch where I'm live all the goddamn time. Thanks so much, guys. See ya.